Okay, let's be honest. Haven't we all been in those meetings?
Yeah.
The ones that just seem to drain the life out of you.
Oh, definitely. That could have been an email specials.
Exactly. Or maybe just vanished. Poof. But the thing is, good meetings, they're actually vital. Decisions get made, things move forward.
Right. You need that space to get everyone aligned
Right.
on the same page.
So for this deep dive, our mission really is to give you some solid, actionable phrases, stuff you can actually use to make business meetings work better. Whether you're leading it or you're participating, we want you to feel more confident, more effective.
It's not just about showing up, is it? It's about knowing how to communicate with clarity, respect, intention. That's what we're digging into.
Precisely. And we're drawing from this really useful article on Pumble. It's called 120 plus useful English phrases for business meetings, updated just this year.
A great resource.
Yeah, we've gone through it and pulled out what we think are the real game changers, the phrases that can make a difference. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it. Starting at the beginning seems right. Opening the meeting.
Okay, opening a meeting like a pro. It sounds basic, but getting that start right is huge.
It really is. A good opening, it's more than just being polite. It sets the whole tone. It shows you respect people's time.
Totally agree. The article stresses starting positively. Simple things like, thank you all for coming, or I appreciate everyone being here.
Or even, first, I'd like to welcome you all. It seems small, but it works.
It does. It's like a verbal handshake. Makes people feel acknowledged right away.
Yeah, and that simple gratitude, it taps into, basic social connection. People engage more when they feel appreciated.
And what about introductions? Especially if there are new people.
Oh, crucial. Simple phrases like, could everyone briefly introduce themselves? Or if you know them, I would like to introduce. It just breaks the ice.
Builds that initial connection, gets everyone comfortable. Sometimes just name and role is enough, right?
Exactly. Or maybe a quick line on what they're focusing on for the project. Gives context.
Right. Then, the big one. Stating the meeting's objectives. Even for, the regular weekly check-in.
Being super clear about the why.
Yeah, the article gives good examples. Our aim today is to. Or the purpose of today's meeting is.
Or just a direct, today we're going to focus on.
That clarity is just, essential, isn't it, if people don't know why they're there?
Their minds wander. They start thinking it's a waste of time. Remember that stat?
Yeah.
Over 70% wish they had fewer meetings.
Wow, yeah.
So stating the objective clearly, that's you justifying why this meeting matters.
Good point. And linked to that is sharing the agenda, managing expectations.
Absolutely. It's the roadmap.
Gives everyone a heads up. First, we will be discussing X.
Then after that, we'll move on to Y.
And finally, we'll cover Z.
It provides that structure, like a movie trailer for the meeting.
Exactly. It stops things from just wandering all over the place and makes sure you cover the important stuff in the time you have. Plus, people can prepare. Okay, so we've kicked things off smoothly. Now the main event. Navigating the actual discussion. What helps here?
Right. This is where the collaboration happens. Sharing info, asking good questions, keeping things productive.
The article suggests starting with updates sometimes, like the quick check-in.
Yeah, it's a good way to touch base. You could say something like, before we dive into the main topic, I just have a quick update. Or ask, how is Project Alpha coming along?
Gets everyone up to speed.
Fosters transparency. You might even catch potential issues early and, celebrate small wins. Good for morale.
Okay, but what about when a discussion keeps going and you're watching the clock? How do you move things along politely?
Ah, the delicate art of moving on. It's tricky. You don't want to shut people down, but you need to respect the schedule. Phrases like, if nobody has anything else to add on this point, let's move on to, can work. Or a simple, okay, let's move on to our next agenda item.
Gentle nudges.
Exactly. Smooth transitions.
And the inevitable detour. When the conversation suddenly veers off into the weeds. Happens all the time.
It does. Gently guiding it back is key. You could try, that's an interesting point. Maybe we can pick that up later. For now, let's get back to...
We seem to be getting a little off topic here. Can we return to?
Yeah. It's about parking the tangent, not dismissing it. Acknowledge it, suggest dealing with it later, then bring it back.
Redirecting, not rejecting. I like that. Okay, and handing over the floor. Passing the baton.
Yeah, you want that to feel smooth, too. Like, now Carl will tell us more about the research, or I'd like to hand it over to Mike, who can share more on this topic.
Makes it clear who's next and why. Good flow.
Precisely. It keeps the meeting feeling organized.
Okay, so opening, navigating. Now, landing the plane? wrapping up effectively. This feels really important, but sometimes gets rushed.
It's crucial. The end is your last chance to make sure everyone leaves clear on what happened and what's next.
The article highlights summarizing. Key decisions, action items, easy to forget otherwise. So important for memory. Phrases like, okay, just to recap, the main points we discussed today were...
Or, to sum up the key actions, we agreed that, helps cement everything.
Definitely. Minimizes misunderstandings later. And it clarifies who owns what action item. Accountability.
Makes sense. Then actually ending it. How do you signal, okay, we're done, professionally?
Keep it clear and concise. That covers everything for today. Works well.
Or, if there's nothing more to discuss, we can end here. Nice and direct.
Yep. Provides that clear signal. Meeting adjourned.
And one last thing for the host thanking people. It seems obvious, but
easily forgotten in the rush. A simple, I would like to thank everyone for coming today, or thank you all for your time and input. It really matters.
leaves a good final impression.
Absolutely. It acknowledges their effort, fosters that collaborative spirit for next time. Small gesture, big impact.
Okay, great stuff for leading meetings. But what if you're attending? How do you actively participate? Make your presence count. Being an active attendee is just as important. It's not passive. You're there to contribute your perspective too.
Right. And the article talks about sharing your view confidently. Sometimes that's hard, but your insights matter. How can you phrase opinions well?
Using lead-ins helps. I think we should try. Or, from my point of view, that approach. It states your idea clearly, but still feels open.
Okay. And agreeing. Is it worth saying, I agree?
Yes. Constructive agreement builds momentum. I completely agree with that. Or just, great point, reinforces good ideas.
Builds consensus. Okay. The tricky one. Disagreeing. How do you do that without sounding, difficult?
Respectfully is key. You need to disagree sometimes to avoid bad decisions. The article suggests things like, that's a great point, but maybe we should consider all the options.
Acknowledging first, then offering the alternative.
Exactly. Or, I see where you're coming from, but I have a slightly different take. It's about the idea, not the person. Diplomacy, like you said.
Right. And offering advice or suggestions.
Soften it a bit. Instead of, we should do this, maybe, perhaps we could explore, or what if we tried? Makes it more collaborative.
Invites discussion. Good. What about asking for clarification if you're just not following?
Never be afraid to ask. Better than guessing. Could you go into a little more detail on that, or let me just check I've understood, are you saying?
Ensures everyone is actually on the same page. And if you just plain missed something, someone was talking too fast, or you got distracted.
Totally okay to ask for a repeat. Happens to everyone. Oh, I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
Or can you run that by me one more time, please? Polite and necessary sometimes.
Absolutely. Don't let things slide if you're unsure.
Final point for attendees, asking others for their opinion. Making sure everyone gets heard.
So important for inclusivity. You get better ideas that way. Actively invite people in. Mike, would you mind giving us your opinion on this?
Or more generally, what are your views on pulls people into the conversation?
Exactly. Ensures diverse perspectives are considered.
So there we have it. A whole toolkit, really, of phrases to help you navigate those business meetings.
And hopefully make them feel less like choppy waters.
Yeah. By using some of these intentionally, you can genuinely feel more confident, contribute more effectively.
That ultimately help make the meeting itself more productive and, honestly, less stressful for everyone involved.
It's not just about the words themselves, is it? It's about using language thoughtfully to improve communication, build better relationships at work.
And turn meetings into something genuinely useful, not just something you endure.
So here's a final thought for you to take away. Consider how consciously picking just 2 or 3 of these phrases, maybe one for opening, one for participating and using them in your very next meeting. How might that shift the dynamic?
Yeah, what might you notice about the conversation flow or just the level of understanding when you have a slightly more intentional vocabulary for working together? Something to think about.